A former Morgan County teacher is charged with having sex with teenage boys as young as 13, including group sex. And her husband is charged with knowing about it and threatening the boys if they didn't stop until they turned 16. The charges against 31-year-old Brittany Fortinberry are lengthy and disturbing. 33 counts with now 8 confirmed victims in 2 separate cases. I'm going to get into some of the details in this very special report. Brittany Fortinberry looked down and said nothing as deputies led her into the Morgan County Courthouse for a hearing April 3rd on these additional charges she now faces since more victims have come forward. I was in the courtroom for that brief hearing where she also said nothing. Teenage boys say that Fortinberry gave them drugs and had sex with them at her Martinsville home. She's also accused of sending nude photos of herself to the boys. The prosecution asked for increased bail, arguing that Fortinberry is a threat to herself and the community. They cited Fortinberry allegedly saying that she would kill herself if the boys told anyone about the group sex. The prosecution also said Fortinberry is a flight risk and has talked in jail about moving to Savannah, Georgia and changing her name. The judge agreed and set bail at $150,000 property surety bond plus $10,000 cash. I spoke to the deputy prosecutor who handles sex crimes in Morgan County after that hearing.
I want to make it clear that the filing of criminal charges is just the beginning of the process and that she is presumed innocent of all charges until she is proven guilty at trial. The state also filed a motion to increase her bond, which the court heard, so that has been increased to $150,000 property surety and $10,000 cash. She also received some new dates for her next court dates. Now, I realize that this case has received a good deal of publicity, but the focus is and will remain on the victims and the defendant's right to a fair trial. I will do my best to answer any questions. However, there are rules of ethics that govern what I am allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, but I'll do my best to answer some questions.
Michelle, how disturbing is this case given its, I guess for lack of a better term, large scale and so many victims now?
So that's a good question. It's still an ongoing investigation in terms of, I suppose, how many victims. We do have a fair number of victims between the 2 cases that she has pending.
It's because there's so many redactions, it's not clear to me exactly how many victims have been identified at this point. Can you address that?
I can. So between her level 6 felony and her now level 4, but soon to be level 1, there are 8 kids who have come forward. So we have 8 separate victims.
Okay. And do you believe all of those 8 victims had sex with Brittany Fortinberry?
So a number of the victims have disclosed what is usually termed as hands-on sex acts. Not all of them have.
Have you come across any evidence that in any way there was anyone in the Martinsville School District failed to report? Has there been any evidence that there's any failure to report here on the part of a school system?
That is a great question. That is still a piece of the ongoing investigation. So at this point, I don't think I'm able to answer that.
So let's look into the charges that Brittany Fortinberry is facing in the 2 cases combined. 11 counts of sexual misconduct with a minor, 6 counts of child molesting, 8 counts of dissemination of matter harmful to minors, and that's for sending nude photos of herself to the boys. The other counts in those 33 charges include contributing to the delinquency of a minor, performing sexual misconduct, or performing sexual conduct in the presence of a minor, that included her own son, and harassment using a computer network. Court records say that most of these crimes happened inside Fortinberry's house in Martinsville. The boys tell investigators that Fortinberry would drug them, often with mushrooms grown in the house, and then have sex with them. One boy said that he met Brittany because his mom was a friend of Brittany, and he also became a friend of Brittany's son. He says he started having sex with Brittany in 2023 when he was just 13. He says that Brittany also had him bring friends over to the house. He said that Brittany would drug them with mushrooms on peanut butter sandwiches, then have sex with them. He also described having group sex with Brittany and 2 other boys. She allegedly spent $600 on the boys at the mall that day and then had sex with them all while making them wear masks from the movie Scream. Brittany allegedly told the teens if they reported anything, she would kill herself. One of the victims told police that Brittany would put her sons to bed and then have sex with the boys. One boy described having sex with Brittany while her son was asleep on the other end of the bed. Another boy told police that Brittany's son walked in on them while they were having sex. Brittany allegedly had sex with one teen she had asked to babysit her children, also exchanging sexual favors to get things for other teens. Another student said Brittany was paying teen boys between $100 and $800 for photos of their genitals. One boy told police that if the boys said they didn't want to have sex with Brittany, she would make them, saying things like, "Just let it happen." All of the teens said Brittany would send them nude and explicit photos and videos on Snapchat and an app called Session. The parents of many victims did not know anything was wrong until they were contacted by the Department of Child Services. The first boy to come forward was brought to police by his grandmother. Community Health Network licensed mental health counselor Kimball Richardson says adult men sexually abusing girls is more common than a case like this. Because it is less common, Richardson says boys may be more ashamed or embarrassed to tell somebody.
I'm a mental health professional. I know very, very well the devastating and negative effects of child sexual abuse. And so, yes, I would very much encourage all children to understand that it's not their fault and to please tell somebody that they trust.
These incidents allegedly happened within the past 2 years while Fortinberry was working for two different school systems. Martinsville schools confirmed Brittany was hired as a substitute teacher in October 2023 and resigned in January 2024. The district says the resignation was not related to sexual misconduct allegations. The district says during her employment, there were no identified reports of sexual misconduct to the administration or the anonymous tip line. We want to assure families that the MSD of Martinsville conducts a full criminal background check for all new employees as part of the standard hiring procedures. The background check report indicated no criminal activity for this former employee. Now, a tort claim notice filed against that school district in Martinsville alleges the district ignored red flags and allowed Brittany Fortinberry to remain employed despite her inappropriate behavior. Indianapolis law firm Wagner Reese is planning to sue the district. Wagner Reese is representing a 13-year-old victim and asking the district to pay $700,000 per sexual assault, in addition to compensation for what they're calling trauma, mental anguish, and emotional distress. In a completely separate case, Fortinberry faces charges for allegedly sending sexual messages and videos to 17 and 18-year-old boys who served as her teacher assistants at eminent schools. This was at the start of this school year. They said that Brittany sent them suggestive messages and revealing photos. She allegedly told them that she became a stripper after she left Martinsville schools and she had lost 100 pounds in the last 2 years. One time in the classroom, they said she left her phone gallery open on a desk, showing her completely nude photos of herself. The boys reported her actions to school officials. She resigned August 23rd. She was at the school less than 2 months. The school district released a statement that when the charges were filed that includes the welfare and safety of our students as the top priority of the eminent school community schools. As such, the school corporation has been and will continue to fully cooperate with law enforcement and the Morgan County Prosecutor's Office in this matter. Meantime, Brittany's husband, Nicholas Fortinberry, is charged with intimidation and failure to report. In a transcript from a court hearing, investigators said that Nicholas Fortinberry knew what Brittany was doing and threatened the boys. Nicholas allegedly told a boy, "If you don't stop what you're doing with my wife, then I'm going to kill you in front of your family." Nicholas allegedly said to stop having sex with Brittany until you turn 16. Investigators say Nicholas made the threat to a 13-year-old boy who was with another child at the Fortinberry home. Nicholas is free on $600 bond. Brittany Fortinberry remains in the Morgan County Jail. No trial date is set for her. Her next court hearing is scheduled April 14th. For 13 News, I'm Rich Nye.